Good to be here to talk about this with you because there's a lot of swirl and misinformation going around. And as we know, it's a political stunt, an attempt to use the courts to restrict access to a proven safe medication. This was a group that was created simply to bring this case and handpicked a Trump-appointed judge in Amarillo, Texas, which is a small and single judge county in Texas. And so we're really looking at an attempt to use the courts and to use them improperly, frankly. As we know, medication abortion has been used globally, and the World Health Organization, as well as our own Food and Drug Administration, has proclaimed it safe. So there's no reason, there's no actual evidence to say that this is harming women and pregnant people.
To your point, though, it's been brought before a single judge who was a Trump appointee and who may feel the pressure of the anti-abortion group bringing this case. How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, fortunately, I think Judge Kaczmarek is now starting to face some of the pressure of due process of law as well as support for abortion rights in the U.S., which, we know that over 70% of Americans do support the Roe versus Wade framework. So this is really a political minority who has seized power and is to try to disrupt the executive branch, the Food and Drug Administration. And we take our separation of powers pretty seriously in the United States, and we're hoping that our judges will as well. But we've seen a lot of abortion exceptionalism in the past year, if not decades, where the law doesn't seem to apply in the same manner when the issue of abortion comes forward. So I think it's important to talk about where this case came from, but also where it's going to. I mean, we are not going to put abortion medication away in this country. It is the most widely used method of abortion, both where abortion is legal and also where it has been banned or restricted. So it's not going anywhere regardless of what this judge does.
Yes, but we saw Florida's Ron DeSantis actually now ban the sale of it. He's cancelled this multi-million-dollar contract with Walmart not to provide the drug. So in those states that have brought in these very harsh rules, they're making it very difficult for women to get access to this drug.
Right, absolutely. And I want to be clear that this is going to have a lot of harms on a lot of women and pregnant people. Mifepristone, the drug at issue, is also used for miscarriage management. So we're really playing a bit of Russian roulette with women's health because they need access to safe medical treatment. On the other hand, Governor Gavin Newsom out of California threatened to cancel a contract with Walmart when they said that they weren't going to sell mifepristone. So the politicization is off the rails, even by American standards here. We've seen just a lot of chaos since the Supreme Court erased the federal constitutional right to abortion last June. And we've seen a lot of harm. I mean, we see cases coming where women are not being treated in emergency rooms because physicians aren't necessarily anti-abortion. They're just fearful and they don't have any guidance about how they can make those decisions to save somebody's life without putting themselves at risk of very extreme criminal penalties in places like Texas.
Which brings us to another case that's on the cards in Texas, and this is a man who's suing the friends of his ex-wife, who he says assisted her to have an abortion. So, to your point, health workers are also included in this potential legal action against family members and partners that can come with a hefty price tag as well.
Yeah, I think the case in Texas, I mean, a lot of women that I know were just really angry about that because it is the classic ex-husband harassing by litigation. I mean, this was somebody who was separated from his wife. She had the right to make a decision about her own health, and she turned to her female friends to help her out, and they did. The same way that we support each other in tough times and decisions, and with clearly, I'm going to have to say, jerky ex-husbands in that case. But he politicized it. He's working with a lot of lawyers who are very firmly anti-abortion. They are using him. I think they are going against his ex-wife and her friends for being there in a time of crisis. And so we're seeing that both as an effort to harm her individually, but really to continue the chill and the bullying against abortion rights supporters in this country. It's not a criminal charge in that case, but it does send very strong signals, and legal fees in America are high. So we all really feel for those women who tried to help their friend when she clearly needed assistance. And And we're seeing on the positive side a lot of people really stepping up and helping out. We know abortion is a human right in this country, and that it's not going to be taken away by aggressively using the courts to go against women and people who help them and people who need access to medical care.
And which is also good to see that a number of women have taken action, legal action against the state of Texas for not providing access to abortion, and then them suffering severe complications with their pregnancies. And these women, as you pointed out, are being turned away in dire circumstances.
I think that's another situation where it really sends a chill down the spine of women and anybody who loves them or has a relationship with them, because those women are frankly lucky to be alive. And we've seen other instances globally in Ireland with the Savita Halappanavar case, and coming out of Poland with the Isabel case, where women were not treated in time and they had sepsis, they had infections that tragically cost them their lives. So I think we all know the risks of pregnancy and that it's not something to be taken lightly and to be politicized. And we need to get past this point. We need to support physicians to use harm reduction strategies. We need to be clear that what a life-saving exception is to even the harshest ban on abortion. And what we're also seeing is medical providers really stepping up in states where abortion has not been criminalized or stigmatized. And they're doing things like calling for a telemedicine shield, which would allow them to treat patients in abortion-starved areas remotely through telemedicine, the same way we've seen international groups stepping up to help American women.
Yeah. It is just, you know, now that these laws are in place, it's fascinating to see the fallout and ramifications, and as you point out, women's health right at the foremost of it. Really lovely to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Always nice to talk with you.